去年都有真侪人真惊吓啦吼，前年堂这个军队。
At the end of last year, many people were very fearful over this millennium bug.
有真侪人将钱摕出来。
There are many people who withdrew their money from banks.
我听讲有个姊妹买啊真侪物件通贵通食。
I have heard of a sister who stockpiled on food,
便宜啦。
and it has passed.
这个心情拄就是教师啊，要带领以色列人去迦南地前面。
And this kind of feeling is exactly the kind of feeling that Joshua had when he led the Israelites into Canaan.
你有注意教师啊去？上帝讲几两摆，但若这9节讲3摆，你就讲中壮大，你就讲中壮大，讲福建教师啊是惊。
And you notice that it is repeated often in these verses we have just read that one is to be strong and courageous.
因为迄大连子摩西是，
Because that great leader, Moses, is already dead.
迄个搞祈祷的最最是叫阿伦啊是，
And that great prayerful priest, Aaron, was also dead.
迄个五路会主席米亚啊是，
And that leader of their women's fellowship, Miriam, was dead.
40岁以上的纯了教师啊，甲一个家庭，拢会较少年人。
And of people who were above 40, there were only Joshua and Caleb. The rest of them were young ones.
这边你唔捌行着，
And these people have not taken this path before.
要怎去？
And how do they go through this river?
当然你会惊。
And so there was fear.
讲中壮大，讲中壮大，讲中壮大。
Be strong and courageous.
头章讲过，讲中壮大。
The first lesson, be strong and courageous.
上帝佫讲，我甲摩西同在，跟同在。
God says that I was with Moses and I will be with you.
请你记住哦，就耶稣基督，是你今仔日永远袂改变。
May you remember that it is only Jesus Christ who will not change yesterday, today, or forever.
咱的老朋友，有时咱真信任看病了也死。
And sometimes our old friends whom we trust, they fall sick and they die.
后来有时阵我就去移民加拿大咯，移民美国。
And then there are some who emigrate to the United States, to Canada,
当时唔免惊，
but we do not fear.
耶稣基督，是你今仔日一直到永远就是你。
Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever.
伊在甲摩西同在，跟讲要甲你同在。
How he has been with Moses, in the same way he will be with you.
我要做见证，互你愈发明白。
I will testify that you might understand this better.
我也是上从这个时阵奉献，向我先已经我奉献。
I dedicated myself to the ministry as a high school student during the time of John Song.
1949年、65年，我介绍一个美国的神学，而家有我转去。
And in 1949, I was introduced to this seminary in the United States where I had a scholarship.
迄阵飞机真贵，
At that time, plane fares were very expensive,
坐船飞车美利达甲美国就21日。
and it took about 21 days to get from Manila all the way there.
我甲你讲，你家一个去哦，某囝无办法去，
And that I could only go there by myself.
所以我一交我的大手宝也袂离死的，安两个细汉囡仔。
And so I left my wife and 2 children.
读一年无问题，
After 1 year of studying, there was no trouble at all.
第二年问题来咯。
But the second year, the trouble came.
迄个时阵，中共1949正式约10月1号就伫中华人民共和国。
And so at that time in 1949, the Chinese People's Republic was established.
真侪人迄阵胡言，买中国分这两国，中东以北、中共、中伊朗国民党。
And so people were worried about the splitting up of the country.
咁事实是安尼，中共统一的。
And even if that was the case, there were 2 separate republics.
中共就是统一了后，礼拜咱摕回去。
And so when the People's Republic was there, all the churches were taken over.
拢总传教士赶到。
And all the missionaries sent back home.
我知影我的故乡台湾，甲迄传教士，你着倒去啊！你若无倒去啊，你就受免费啊！毋是阮毋爱甲你合法啊，你倒去。
And at that time, many people were advising me that I should go home.
真侪宣教士连出名喺中国来对话无办法伫中国。
And there were many missionaries, even people from the China Inland Mission, who could not go in.
礼拜堂变做人民的聚会所在。
And the churches became public gathering places for other civic activities.
我读第二年，其他第二年。
I studied for a second year in the seminary.
美國東部有啲中國牧師，
And in the United States, to the east, there was a pastor.
即係人就有心，
And he had a heart for God.
特別來到哋即係阮嘅神學來見阮嘅院長。
And he came to our seminary to meet our president.
伊講中國無相，
He said, China is different.
唔是我無贊成傳福音，
It is not that I do not approve of people preaching the gospel,
無人有通完全奉獻全時間傳道，
but no one could give themselves to full-time ministry anymore.
但人都無一個機會啊，再去傳，無一個工作啊，佇工作以後再去傳。
And so everyone had to have a profession before going back into the country.
即牧師真好來對阮講話。
And so this pastor came and spoke to us.
迄個時候，兩個中學生，一小編工，一小編長，兩個中學生在讀書嘛。
At that time, there were only 2 of us Chinese students there.
伊問講慶長啊，你以後農業會愛栽花栽菜，啊是即農業嘅代志。
And so the other one asked me if I knew any farming at all.
我唔要啦。
I told him, of course not.
伊講你袂記啦，以後要去學傳道啊，無辦法專工啊，你就靠啊去學做長。我講不要管。
And so he told me that if you want to go back to China in the future, you'd have to know some other profession before you can go back in.
伊講無你會曉什麼工業嘅，曉什麼修理刀這物件，我話不要管。
And so he asked me if I knew any trade, repairing things maybe,
伊講啊，無你會曉即電器，即電嘅代志。
or did I know anything about electronics?
我袂曉，我講電就咯。
I tell him, I do not know, and if I touch any of those things, I get electrocuted.
啊，你要怎傳道啊？
And so how could I go in and preach?
我相信你傳道要講互中國人聽，
I believe that you will be preaching to the Chinese.
這是實際證明。
And these are the real circumstances.
你要去中國傳道，無辦法專工，也無禮拜堂，就你最強工要靠伊甲傳。
And if you want to preach in China, you'd have to do it through a certain profession.
我來應付。
And so I answered him,
第一種我咪曉教英文，
I at least can teach English.
無人要學英文啊，
And he said, no one wants English.
用是要學俄文啊。
They only want their own.
哇靠，我真刺激。
And so I was suddenly educated.
這個牧師佫甲阮的院長講。
And then this pastor also told our seminary president,
來，熱天你就學去米村石卡嚟去學一項物件，學一科先8科，唔是先啦。
and asked that during summer we should be sent to some other place to learn some other trade.
啊，無要讀什麼道啦，要讀什麼道。
Otherwise, we could not preach.
迄年我就是去讀，
And so that year I did go and study.
但係院長是真好，
And the seminary president was very good.
你愛讀多一科啊？
And he asked me, what did I want to study?
我大學讀歷史，我照本愛讀歷史。
In college, I studied history, and that was what I wanted to continue doing.
我想咯，以前嘅歷史是以前主義，歷史是義務主義啊，你讀真是歷史啊。
And he told me, well, history has also changed, and maybe you do not want to study that.
我啦，我就是愛讀歷史，我愛讀法。
I told him that's the only thing I wanted to learn.
一在我死唔得過，
And so I felt very difficult.
我真係幫我囝哋去啦。
I left my wife and children in Manila.
我奉獻做什麼嘅？
Why did I dedicate myself?
讀聖經，
And so I read the Bible.
我嘅心啊，靜靜無聲，專唔做。
And I read that the heart was to be quiet and wait upon the Lord.
詩篇62篇，
Psalm 62.
聖靈講，哎呦，我嘅心啊，靜靜無聲。
And so the psalmist says, my soul, wait quietly upon the Lord.
今日我有傳道，
And today am I preaching the word of God.
唔係傳道就退休咯。
I have not only preached, but already have retired.
伊记哩咯，免靠过去的经验，上帝讲，我参加摩西动作也甲你动作。
We do not have to depend on experience in the past for surety, but know that in the same way that he was faithful to Moses, he will be with us.
第二项代志，
The second thing,
唔免惊，受相关。
do not fear because God is in control.
我甲摩西同在，我要背是尊敬耶稣啊。
And I was with Moses, and I will be with Joshua and the people.
耶稣啊，未伊拍下伊句伊想，有一个人伫遐问讲，你是伊本啊唯一啊？
And before Joshua led people against Jericho, they saw someone there and they asked, "Are you for us or for them?"
我是要我的元帅。
And the reply was, "I am the Lord's servant.
我一听见，
Remove your shoes.
这是圣经。
And this is holy ground."
唔免惊，讲我2000年是咱的领导咧，咱的元帅的领导。
Do not fear the year 2000. Who is in charge? It is the Lord our God.
有时毋是甲你领导真长，拢头步互你看。
Sometimes God does not lead us all the way. He leads us just for the next step.
诗篇119篇105节，你的话是我脚前的灯，是我路前的光。
Psalm 119, 105. The word of the Lord is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.
有首诗是根本就在圣经写。
And there are songs which have been written with these for its lyrics.
主啊，我无求你监督我天命，当你一步一步甲我带。
Or that, Lord, we do not need that the whole future should be clear, but that you lead us every step.
唔免看路2000、2002、2003，一日一日主的灯给你照。
We do not need to know about 2002 or 2003. We just need God to lead us from one day to the next.
是咱是元帅，毋是你，
Who is in control? It is not us,
是一生上帝的领导。
but rather your whole life it is God who will be in control.
每一摆你听来主啊，你是元帅，你甲我指导。
Every time you can pray to God and say, Lord, you are in control, lead me.
当时第三步也是真要紧，
And yet the third thing is very important.
让主指导你的目标。
If God leads, you should follow.
上帝告诉我讲，
God told Joshua,
来叫祭司跟个跪，
call the judges and the priests.
要等候迄个真水是流得真紧的。
At that time, the flow of the river Jordan was very fast.
这所以你若有机会会记了，但吼我无常常有去圣地旅行，去了你有真侪经验。
Often, Pastor Paul Epan leads people to Israel, and you can learn a lot of things from going along.
要等候的水流真紧，
You will notice that the current of the river Jordan is very
甚至有
fast.
人讲鱼要死都不太用。
And there are people who say that even fish have trouble swimming in those waters.
上帝要告诉我讲，来叫百姓进入等候。
And so God told Joshua, lead the citizens to the banks of the river.
无啥，上帝领导方法无啥。
The way God leads is different.
但摩西叫得百姓去航海，摩西赶也顺利，海跟跟住。
When God led the people of Israel to the Red Sea, it was Moses' rod, which when raised, made the waters go to two sides.
摩西赶也低落来，就航海有归。
And so when Moses lifted his rod, the waters parted.
这阵上帝个告诉我讲，我要跪，这是较大的最后的最真紧。
Now God tells them that this time it was for the priests to step their feet into the water, and then will the current stop.
你想想，你可能要跪吼，就咧等啊，较大的最真紧。
Now they already had trouble enough carrying a heavy tabernacle on their back, but stepping into a raging current.
总是免惊，光勇壮大。
And yet there is no need to fear, but be strong and courageous.
上帝若交代你做，你负责。
If God tells you to do something, He will be responsible.
要跪嘅这是更较大的，听面后就是行。
And so the priests, the moment they step in, the waters stop flowing.
我以后要对是这件事。
And I will share to you another true story.
等我對美國去打過來，
When I came back from studying in the United States,
我頭一個工錢就是六百，
my first mission field was Davao.
無中國禮拜天，
There was no Chinese church there.
阮是一個所在，到回來，老家個邊兄，老卡互恁招無書記徛，
And so the only place we had was something lent to us, a ground floor lent to us by someone there.
禮拜等禮拜飯，
And how did we have our gatherings?
小會禮拜禮拜兩，
We borrowed a place from a Filipino church.
下晡2點出嚟咯，
We had our Sunday school at 2 in the afternoon,
3點半禮拜，
had our worship service at 3:30.
呢個禮拜兩無成年會當下書，
That church is not as beautiful as Grace Gospel Church.
有厝掛，咱講有厝掛無天花板，
There was a roof without a ceiling,
所以鬥氣熱大。
and so it was very hot in the afternoons.
咁哪年啊，落雨有時落雨，
And sometimes it would rain.
啊不過真奇怪哦，你是會落雨，會時落雨。
In Davao, it is very strange. It never rains in the morning, but always in the afternoon.
我點解10年只有3擺你是落雨？
I was there for 10 years, and it only rained in the mornings 3 times.
總是問題來咯，時咱要回報道會行到6點喺落雨。
And so when we had evangelistic meetings in the afternoons, we always worried whether it would rain.
對30個一開始慢慢地進步啦，
And so from 30-something people, we were slowly improving.
到70幾個，
And we were up to 70-something.
啊做這所在，
We rented a place.
所以就注意咯。
We had our Sunday school.
這個討論哦，咱就幾禮拜天，
And we discussed that maybe we need to start building a church.
你起什麼禮拜天啊？
What kind of place will we be building?
係少人要起什麼禮拜天啊？
We have no people.
呢個時候包遠嘅所在買space貴2萬元，2萬元就整1萬美金，一杯較遠，真早去買嘅。
At that time, we bought a property very far from the city.
我點解去？
Some people said, well, you can build there.
反對咯，唔通哦，遐去真遠啊！呢個換車幾後擺，無像今日真濟車真易嘅。
People said that you should not build there because it is very far and transportation will not be convenient.
你潮人都好喎，不俾佢潮車，不換架車先啱嘅行。
And so if you build there, it's far, people will not want to go along.
有一個講就講一句話，
There was a deacon who said one thing.
伊贊成點樣去？
He approved of building in that property.
呢句話怎講？
What did he say?
只要牧師道理講好，歸嘛歸去，俾嘛俾。
If the preacher only preaches well, people would go there even if they had to crawl there.
有影啦，牧師人講好，嘛俾去。
And that was true.
意思是講我講對唔好啦。
And so maybe that meant that I did not preach too well.
啊，真係咁講。
And it was a very difficult thing to feel.
教會有真兩派，
And so there were 2 opinions within the church.
一派贊成跟時代去，
And one group of people thought that we should build within the city,
啊一派贊成跟時代。
and the other outside the city.
起頭攏是可以，
At the beginning, they all had good intentions,
魔鬼最強，
but it was really the work of the devil.
結果
interfering.
真實真拗錢。
And so there were many opinions.
啊，我哦贊成起來，我起來一邊。
And so I myself felt maybe the city was a better idea.
兩兩頭路無聊，我唔搶。
And I almost lost my job.
但係在地牧師去立法，
But there was a pastor who visited us.
NUG 真出名 NUG。迄時我要請地牧師哦，講我會帶新的牧師，新牧師啊，你請地牧師講我真愛啦。我無辦法出路費啊，對面你啦，甲人包來回就100年幾塊peso是無，我無辦法。
And at that time we said we could not really invite him because the fare was really beyond our reach.
好啦，用話出路費。
And so UECP decided to pay the fare for us.
地牧師係做兩件重要嘅工作。
And when the pastor got there, he did a very important piece of work.
教會要訓練，跟他大家合作，袂使有什麼意見。
And if the church were to be revived, there needed to be unity.
兩個不能真愛情嘅算好好嘅，
And these 2 groups suddenly were reunited.
但袂使用啊。
And what do we do now?
要起來去也是話去，
Do we build within or without the city?
一 公园起来去人较利便个。
Of course, if you build within, it will be more convenient.
叫牧师讲，祈祷上帝会开哦。
The pastor said, pray, and God will open the way.
只要祈禱上帝旨意就開哦。
And if you pray, God will indeed show you the way.
哇，迄個就真好啊！
And that piece of lot seems to be very good.
一個門要行一條，
And so there it was.
對價真貴啊！
Land prices were expensive.
總迄主人怎有講呢？
And yet, what did that particular person
即
say?
個地是阮祖宗，我無必賣，祖利的養哩，地是袂使賣。
This piece of property that you want belonged to my ancestors, and so I could not sell it.
都好啊，阮無辦法買啊，現租的。
And we said, that is good because we can't buy it. Can we just rent it?
所以無使錢啊，
And it was asked how much?
一個你100塊，
100 pesos a month.
一年12塊。
1200 a year.
其中一位主席講，阮哦無辦法人遐濟，無遐緊去那邊，安尼做10年呢，養哩，才有做10年。
And so we asked, could we rent it for 10 years?
伊講10年啊，那邊袂成，2年會養哩。
And we asked, could we rent it for 15?
總是起價咯，一個你150塊。
But the price had gone up, 150 per month.
迄個接下要講厝，那15年去袂成啊，20年呢，為16到20要做運買。
And so if we still need to rent it from the 16th to the 20th year, could we? And he agreed.
我怎樣一個你190塊，
190 a month.
會養哩。
Okay.
代志解決，
And things were settled.
幾小塊呢，一個100塊先問題。
It was just a few pesos more per month.
啊，要怎去咧配合？
And how do we build a church?
啊，我哋啉江水是長老當時也記，伊講小牧師啊，我小算器材就好咯，嘛有頂禮拜兩樓頭有恁行，就5萬pesos。
And so at that time, the elder who knew about construction said that if we built a wooden structure, it would cost about 50,000.
40-50個要到時賠下佢錢。
And where would we get such a big amount of money?
有一位職事甲我講，
And there's a deacon who told me,
小牧師啊，較實際。
Pastor Shao, let's be practical.
遐話大聲要去也會出錢，話聲無出錢啊。
If people raise their voices, they will not give money.
我要，咱起個水景淡薄，頭互恁徛就好。我要出80塊，還是100塊。
Let's build something smaller, enough for you to live on, and then maybe something cheaper.
你識這啊？
And that is practical.
5萬元個遐快啲。
I mean, 50,000 is not an easy amount to raise.
嗰個職事甲我講。
And another deacon told me,
我咧傳一個卡白嘅蛋糕啊，伊怎樣講呢？
I was at that time preaching on these feet, stepping into the Jordan,
講嘅是聖經講嘅。
and this is what the Bible says.
咱要起禮拜，你卡打就跌落去咯，個蛋糕可以分開。
If we build a church and we step into the Jordan, we would already drown.
有時即係講，咱請是牧師去捐錢個，請人去請講道理去捐錢啊。
And so some people suggested maybe we could give Pastor Shao a speaking tour and he can raise money with other people.
我頭慘冇人要請我，我真少嚟。
I said, how many people want to invite me? Not too much.
第二下講請我，若要請我，是要捐錢，佫發唔請。
And if they hear that I am there to raise money, then all the less will they want to invite me.
當時我知影教會起禮拜。
And yet I knew that the church needed a structure.
咱憑信心，
And so we went by faith.
咱有約束啊。
And we followed Joshua's example.
無捐錢，
And we did not go around raising money.
也無去外面小牧師講道對。
And I did not go out preaching.
這個統計了未？
And after we decided that we would build,
2-3禮拜就請人來找我。
a few weeks after that, a young person came to me.
小牧師禮拜堂當中嘅電話有接。
He said, Pastor Shao, I will take care of all the lighting and such fixtures.
我最錢也80塊，
How much would it cost? 80 pesos.
我讲你一个月150块，你通变几块啊？
And I said, you only have 150 per month. How can you give 80?
恁老母是怎款有恁啊？
Your mother is a widow.
伊要分互你给。
You cannot afford to give.
我有祈祷，我唔通变情感，哇，讲要有这几块啊，无介容易。
I told him it's not that easy.
来，我去问恁妈妈，
And I went and asked his mom.
恁妈妈怎款互恁人摆一店啊？
And the widow had a small store.
一日卖几十块，赚10几块银啊。
And maybe earned a few pesos every day.
你有办法给他做钱？
How could they give that much?
我去洗老母，
I went and visited his mother.
因老母讲，阮囝要欠偌济啊？
And the mother asked, how much did my son say he was going to give?
80块。
80.
150块。
And she said 150.
我惊死。
And I was suddenly shocked.
我讲你讲什么啊？
What did you say?
是无师傅，你囝毋是讲初小第一个拜日，阮囝一个真艰苦的人，但去老母学业做成食头路，毋遐容易是上帝互伊。头一个月薪水就免出去150块。
And so she said, my son was given a job by the Lord and he has to give his first salary to the Lord, so 150.
这是头一条啊，头一条。
And so that was the first amount
哇！
of
迄
money.
个月我就想啦，真欢喜。
And so we were happy.
来，阮就一个人要负责150块。
There is someone who was going to be taking
因
charge
老
of
母啊，
that
同意。
and the mother agreed.
我也無講什麼人。
And I did not say anything more to that.
禮拜煞一個都之處嚟請。
At the end of the service that Sunday, a deacon came to me.
是我師我要奉獻。
Pastor Shao, I want to give an offering.
我看迄個紙記帳寫
And I looked at the check,
3700。
$3,700.
我驚少什麼啊？
I was suddenly shocked once again.
有些唔叫是300，七十八是3700。
Is it 370 or is it 3,700?
這是事實哦。
And this is true.
哪怕我哋禮拜嘅奉獻是分配落嘅。
When we have offerings there, it was by distributing envelopes.
你家己寫，你互教會建商會，也是要算到偌濟錢。
And so you wrote yourself how much you were giving to the general fund or for
這都就是
missions.
因丈夫吼，讓因某嘅陪儂看，獻價5塊唔免，3塊上做都2塊點做嘅。
And the husband of that deacon would actually sometimes look, and if the number was 5, he'd say, just change it to 3.
你看，因丈夫我還抽出來，愛俾人3700。
And even with a husband like that, she was willing to give 3,700.
是我所以講是講就10億奉獻。
Pastor Shao, didn't you say that we needed?
阮拄咧算舊年吼，伊咧開上館，阮賺37000，所以應該要獻3700。
We realized in our accounting that last year we made profits of 37,000, and so I think we need to give 3,700.
所以個一禮拜我就想啦，咱第二個3700。
And so the following week I said the second person who gave 3,700.
我咧看到這
And so everyone was looking around to see who it was,
我無講啥名。
and I didn't give names.
禮拜時候嗰時講啥？
At the end of the service, another person came forward.
上師冇騙我吼。
Pastor Shao, you were not lying, weren't you?
哪有這個3700，我係5000。
If someone wants to give 3,700, I'll give 5,000.
我驚少，真是。
Are you sure?
是啊。
And so you wrote it.
禮拜我想，
And the following week,
那個這個奉獻5000，
another person has given 5,000.
大家注意看到這個。
And heads were turning once again.
禮拜時候嗰時你走嚟。
And another person comes.
上我所以你係是鼓勵人，所以愛講真濟俾車對方。
Pastor Shao, you really like encouraging us by lying to us.
這個好看，係是500，因為真做過現在5000，我唔相信。
500 would already be a lot. 5,000, I refuse to believe you.
係，嗱，有先係5000，我係睇5000。
If someone wants to give 5,000, I will give the same.
這個你去看，
And the check was once again right there.
小我所冇講俾錯。
Pastor Shao was not lying.
我這禮拜嗰時嚟啦，
Another week, another person.
小我所 我虽然无遐5000啊，礼拜堂这茶叶我全部负责。
Pastor Shao, even though I can't give 5,000, I can take care of the lumber that we need.
伊咧做木业比个，所以茶较省。
And so he was in that line, so it was not too difficult for him.
一间5万元的贵个迄种工具。
And in not too big an amount of time, the whole amount we needed was there.
所以上帝有时叫你较大路，还有大路。
And so sometimes God just asks you to step in.
这是告诉我一点。
This is the experience of Joshua.
来，第4项。
The fourth thing.
上帝叫约书亚头一城是安尼做。
God asked Joshua to go to that first city to conquer it, Jericho.
来，再用一说是安尼做。
And he asked Joshua to circle the city.
来，边说，一日一圈。
And so they were to go around the city once every day.
第7日一圈。
On the 7th day, another circle.
有一家人家讲犹太人是伫爱讲话。
And there's a Bible scholar who says that the Jews like talking a lot.
约书亚袂用讲话。
And Joshua did not use words.
迄时也离个静静，哪说哪祈祷。
And so when they went around the city, they quietly prayed.
祈祷是有力量。
And then after their prayer, they were strengthened.
一日，无啊。第2个来，哪说平静静哪祈祷。
And they went through the city, and it seemed nothing was happening.
到第7日
Until the 7th day.
落尾就话倒。
On the last day, there were 2 shouts.
上帝胜利。
And the Lord is victorious.
也是到啥倒。
And the city of Jericho and its walls fell.
你若去圣地就去看。
If you go to Israel, you have to look at it.
人会甲你讲，也是到啥会做迄个头一个城。
And they will tell you that underneath there is the first city of Jericho.
要怎样倒啊？
How could it have fallen?
真趣味，甲迄阵对顶当。
Very interestingly,
对顶当。
the land moved.
迄明是对顶当，为啥倒？
And then the whole city fell.
你唔知，上帝知。
You do not know and cannot predict such
你
things,
这里
but
祈
God
祷
knows.
这里祈祷，上帝叫你做一日对啥祈祷。
And you pray and you go around and the one day it will happen all according to
也有
God's
到
will.
啥倒了？
And when the city of Jericho fell,
第2个城硬城真小，
and the second city, Ai, was very small.
免啊，免遐侪人拜山前你去就赢了，免遐侪人去。
We do not need that many people to go, we just need a small contingent.
死咯，大输啊！
And then they lost.
唔输个死上几个。
They did not only lose, but they also lost lives.
哇，废掉！啊，这若输啊，也伊这亚罗斯连这规犹太队人给你拍门，这犹太人啊，
And if they lost, other people would think that they could easily be conquered.
这艰苦的路，
This is a lesson to be learned.
要输啊大开，
Joshua cried to the
这
Lord.
长老啊大开，
The elders cried to the
你
Lord.
主的面前，
And before the Lord,
可能讲主啊，你叫我去迦南过约旦河区，也是叫那怎硬声拍袂赢。
they said that you asked us to go through the river, and why is it that we could not beat our opponents?
圣灵在讲，上帝在讲，
And what did God answer them?
因中间有人犯罪，
Within you was someone who sinned.
头地唔应该地。
He took things he was not supposed to take.
上帝互人，你失败有别人罪，咱个罪。
And so there is no other reason for your failure other than sin.
你个注意，上帝无爱你认罪，第一来先是12支派的头头。
And so what happened was they drew lots among the 12 tribes.
应该按个关系无，按12支派来犹太，这样才是犹太支派。
And so the one tribe was drawn.
来，支派中间来这种不溜就因的祖先。
Within that tribe, the different heads of the families also drew lots.
来，都刷落，然后阿干从最后一个由就是你。
And they went along down the line all the way till it was pointed out that it was Achan who had taken things.
要主啊，讲犯什么罪啊？
And Joshua said, what have you done?
也离个倒位中间去摕人的物件，有诶摆伫倒，有诶涂骹有用空。
When they conquered Jericho, he took things.
上帝这样讲。
And what did the Lord say?
阿干甲伊拢总诶犯罪啦，拢在面就头定死，我再互你命。
Take Achan and the things he had taken with him, and get him stoned to death, and you will be victorious.
讲完2000年以后，
After the year 2000,
咱就祈祷，
we have to pray.
咱就有元帅，
We need to decide.
咱就有信心，脚打这个办法。
We need to step into the Jordan River.
我要讲到转来，迄个甲我讲，小牧师啊，毋通就实际啊，我吼，咱去个说互你听就好，我要出80箍。
And I'll repeat that there was someone who came to me and said, let's just build something small enough for you.
迄个人我要出偌济钱呢？
Later on, how much did that person
伊来
give?
出几千箍。
He gave a few thousand.
你看，真出名，上帝有这，
God took care of everything.
总是一项代志。
But there is one thing.
罪就对。
Sin must be dealt with.
哎，我要讲这实际变情。
And I will tell you another story.
1949年，
1949,
我要美国读神学，
I was going to study in the seminary.
真决心读神学。
I had made up my mind and heart.
一早起，要起来时阵，
And every morning when I woke up,
有一个字我字，
and one morning there's a hand on my chest.
唔是有看，讲我弹一个手，时间未传过。
And I could feel it, and I could not quite breathe.
最后知这是魔鬼。
And in the end, I knew it was the devil.
奉主耶稣名，我离开，
And I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, leave.
手离开，
And the hand departed.
我就祈祷，
And I prayed,
主啊，啥代志？
Lord, what thing is there?
魔鬼攻击，
Why did the devil come?
来，上帝会知道。
And the Holy Spirit led.
你有常无成这个罪恶面前？
There is one sin that you have not honestly confronted.
什么罪啊？
What sin?
圣经里讲，
And the Spirit showed it to me.
1942年，
In 1942,
全中国外学的比赛，
there was a contest among all colleges in China.
我行好大学，阮啊一定去出门，甲大家学堂的比赛你论文啊，比赛你文章。
And we too sent a team to join this contest.
学堂送你去自然路就比赛，
And so the school sent us, and they took care of our fare.
夜市就比赛，
They took care of our needs,
徛倒落就比赛。
board and lodging.
阮迄店就讲，庆章啊，你是基督徒啊，你做会计，你可以做比赛。
And so in that group, someone said, Wesley, you are a Christian, you take care of the finances.
哦，逐顿食什么啊？旅馆食多少天？你可有能力比赛。
What we ate, where we stayed, we listed them down.
House by 魔鬼气头我怎样讲？
And so the first time, how was I tested?
哎，我爱啉茶，
I like drinking tea.
因为啉茶真平常。
Today, tea is very normal.
迄个时阵啉茶就另外钱啊，啉水免钱，啉茶就钱。
At that time, drinking tea entailed extra expenses.
既然我就定讲我转到10几个啊，10几杯咯。
And so I said, well, in the whole table, we were maybe 10 of us.
我唔爱啉茶啊，
They said, we don't like drinking
你
tea.
唔啉我啉咯。
And I said, you don't want it, I'll
好
drink
啊，
it.
我好命，快啲飲是你唔啉。
And so they didn't want it, and I drank all of it.
嗰日我一頓，你愛食甜嘅無？
And another meal came along and asked, do you like sweets?
什麼甜啊？
What type of sweets?
什麼甜嘅？什麼雞絲我冇愛啊？
They did not want it.
是你唔買喎，
You don't want it, so I'll take it.
我就會有提出嚟食。
And so what I could not finish, I brought home with me.
真平常。
And it's a very normal thing for us.
聖靈我講，
But the Spirit showed me
呢啲唔對，
that is not correct.
唔是正人食，是你食。
It was not eaten by people, you ate it yourself.
以後我記得一句話，
And later on I remembered another
學
word.
堂當中你出門是代表學堂去，所以都寫 你的伙食有跟付出。
You represent the school, so the school takes care of your expenses.
我甲解释，毋是伙食尔，是连要食点心都付出。
And it was included snacks.
所以真好命，食点心免钱，我去伊。
And so I ate a lot.
魔鬼是有生气。
But the hand of the devil was upon me.
聖靈講認罪，
The Holy Spirit said, confess your sin.
主話我認罪，
And I said, I confess my sin.
認罪就嚴。
And then after that,
我算算嘅，差不多400塊幣數。
I calculated that maybe whatever it was I took was 400.
當時母校已經共同地嘅，
But at that time, the school had already been taken over.
要怎樣？
And so how could I repay them?
我叫香港縣政府，
And so I sent to Hong Kong,
同時嘅管理者是普華體育是真好嘅牧師。
to this organization where the pastor
我面面
was
講
at.，
把牧師華體育這400塊幣數啊，唔是奉獻，是我咧賠罪錢。
And so I wrote very clearly that these 400 is not an offering, but rather in payment over sin.
我安尼驗了，我心情真爽。
After I did that, I had peace within my heart.
迄個包牧師就做我好朋友，
And that pastor became a good friend of mine.
面對公元2000年，
When we face the year 2000,
互咱失敗嘅還是一項，
there is only one thing which can make us stumble.
罪，
That is sin.
罪嘅對立。
Sin must be confronted.
來，最後一項，
Last thing.
還是告訴我嘅失敗。
And another failure of Joshua.
哇，贏眼聲聲，哇，風聲就出。
And they had conquered all these cities.
有啲大城，嗰啲基遍嘅人真驚。
And there's this city of big men, and they were fearful of it.
誒基遍嘅人來，咱就提講咱老，咱衫破，講咱前行嘅所在啦，是咱共同嘅人。
And so the Gibeonites said, let us pretend that we are old people with ragged clothes, so that they will not come against us.
你來聽聽。
And they
我
asked,
最近嘅老來啦。
we traveled from far off.
你看阮這物件已經免是新鮮嘅，餅都已經臭臭嘅。
And so look at our food, they have already grown old.
你看阮這衫穿啊真
And look at our clothes, they are already tattered.
阮投降伊。
We surrender to you.
聖經講出，
The Bible says
以色列人受禮儀無祈禱，
the Israelites received gifts without praying.
用禮儀受了
When they received the gifts
無祈禱，
without praying,
人家都真歡喜哦！哇，這基遍人都來投降。
and they are happy that these people surrender to them.
結果，基遍真有用啊！
After a few days, they realized that these people were not from far away, but from quite near a place.
有數會記，面向公元2000年，
Let it be that we remember as we face the year 2000.
凡事就祈禱，
In all things, we should pray.
大事小事祈禱，
In great and small things,
才袂講便宜。
that we would not be deceived.
來分析5項，
Let us review 5 things.
公中壯大，
First, we are to be strong and
一
courageous
代一代嘅，
through generations.
摩西，
Moses' generation has passed, and Aaron has passed.
來了解，我甲摩西同在，跟你同在，
I was with Moses. The Lord says, I will still be with you.
上帝完全成功。
The Lord is in control.
第二代志，
Second,
萬歲主啊，耶和華，
the leader is the Lord Jehovah.
你一生嘅主人唔是你家己是主。
The owner of your whole life is not you, but the Lord.
第三有信心，
Third thing, you must have faith.
叫他都得都得，免驚袂跌落去，
When he asks you to step into the Jordan, you should not fear drowning.
做真水分嘅方法。
The Lord has many different ways of doing things.
第四項，
Fourth thing,
互你失敗是罪，
what makes you fall is sin.
以及罪嘅對，
Remember, sin must be dealt with.
唔是認罪啦，你就賠罪。
It is not only a confession of sin,
譬
but
如
it
你話
must be.
我一項子被我講話，好啦，我下邊等你開講了。
And so you can't say that you forgive your brother, but you do not continue speaking to your brother.
真愛將會是講出話，
I like a phrase that John Wesley said.
除了魔鬼後， 我无看会敌。
Aside from the devil, I do not have any enemies.
真了紧，除了魔鬼，我无敌。
Aside from the devil, I have no enemies.
你个两位总兄弟姊妹有啥物地方？
In Grace Gospel Church, do you have any problems with your brothers and your sisters?
信着，
Very important.
所以对，
Sin must be
但
done.
是认罪了呢，
It is not mere confession.
也人就行嘛。
And if you lack to anyone, you must repay.
最后一项，
And lastly,
大小事拢无了啦。
in big and small things, you are to seek the Lord Jehovah.
信大连成，才咧分别。
And it is here that spiritual lives rise and fall.
真侪人到失败才要祈祷。
Many people only seek after God in prayer after they have already
世事你若
failed.
事事祈禱，
If you only pray at those times,
絕對會方便。
if you pray at all times, you will not be deceived.
頭先講，
Let us bow and pray.
天父雖然講阮2000年以後，阮唔知影，阮家己你老阮提背，阮知影你個摩西同在，也個約書亞同在，照顧你上人信心，就是你叫阮卡大，但阮就敢打落，你會甲阮扶開。 阮總是也離高城祈禱，也會愛倒。總是阮第三、第二名，人人對罪敏感，對罪有厭惡。第四項，就是阮為了大小事，叫名話，互人騙。人生阮對惡事也無實際感覺，奉主的聖名祈